Welcome back, Tran wins Siralim Ultimate. We're going to build the Gate of the Gods and take on the gods themselves. But before that, we are going to create a party capable of fighting them. The parties that I've had up to now have been mostly about fighting bulk armies, using indirect damage, and wiping out the enemy immediately. That's probably not so good for a boss fight, because I imagine I want to be able to control battle for the long term. So to do that, I'm going to use my Golem build to maintain control of the timeline forever and ever, and then beat the enemy senseless. So if they are somehow immune to indirect damage, like if they're a phase warrior master or whatever, this should go through it. Let's take a look how we're going to do this. So first we're going to combine our Regal Golem with our Spirit Succubus. This is going to result in a creature that, when he gets his turn, he heals everybody for 25% of my health. And whenever anybody is healed, they have a 30% chance to go to immediate first place position on the timeline. So they'll take a turn immediately. So if we take a look at his artifact, it has Unbidden Miracle. And what that does is it allows me to get 2 heals from every 1 heal. But it's at less power. In fact, I think it turns out to be about 75% of the normal heal rate, given my examinations on 1 battle history. So maybe that was just a fluke there, but even if it's 25% less overall healing, then I'm still good with that, because this gives you 2 chances to activate Carnogenesis. Alright, we're also going to give him a name. We're going to name this creature Genesis Golem. Alright, next up we have my War Golem. We're going to merge that with the Flesh Abomination. This resulting monster will be pretty simple. He can attack and cast 1 extra time, and whenever he attacks vulnerable monsters, he will always hit. As for his artifact gives him Crunch. This allows him to deal 75% more damage, which is not that important, but most importantly, it allows him to affect the target with Vulnerable. We're gonna rename him to Wretched Golem. I keep saying Golem. So next up, we already have this creature fused, but I will show you what he's actually fused from. We have my Iron Golem. This results in me being able to pass around my first trait between all my characters. And then we've got a Clawing Cockatrice, which results in me being able to turn the last 3 units in my team into golems. They still look the same. It's just their race is golem, and so for all the traits that involve golems, they're good. The artifact that golem is using is Dispersion. This allows me to, whenever he is healed, it heals the other members of my team. Again, the percentage isn't important. What's important is I heal as much as possible to activate Carnogenesis. The next golem is going to be a fusion of a Lurking Basilisk and a Delirious Ghoul. This is going to result in a monster that every time he gets an active turn and isn't hurt, he will hit everybody on the screen. So just go and attack. This should be directed damage. And additionally, in case I am fighting enemies with more speed, he will steal 50% of their speed. I generally enjoy abilities that focus on the enemy's stats, because the enemy will always be as strong as he is. Meaning if you're fighting a weak enemy, okay, you can maybe kill him in 2 turns. If you're fighting a strong enemy, well, you can still kill him in 2 turns. So basically the only penalty is if you're using enemy stats to fight weak enemies. The enemy is out-leveling me at this point, and it's to be expected. That's actually normal. And I've always wanted to just base my stats or abilities around them, like having them curse and punch themselves in the face. Alright, anyways, this guy, he will reduce the target speed so that I can hit them more often, because it's your speed versus their speed. And you can get the Basilisk from Vulcanar in the Great Pandemonium. for his artifact, he has Evasion. This was an item that I purchased from Mortem in Titan's Wound, which allows me to steal 20% of their attack intelligence and give it to me. So I could be fighting a dude with, we'll say, 1 million attack, and hopefully he has comparative defense. So we'll say 1 million defense. Even if I have weak piddly attack, I'll be taking 20% of that, and every time I'm attacking, I will take 20% again and again and again. Now, it's probably diminishing returns, right? But because I'm attacking every monster on the field, that's 6 attacks. So it should add up to enough to do real damage. Next up we have my Angelic Voidlord, and we're going to combine that with a Vital Clutcher. I've always wanted to use an Angelic Voidlord in my army, but I just never found a good use for it, because I would want a Phase Warrior, Phase Knight, to reduce my party-wide damage by 80%, which sounds pretty huge. But in this case, with the build I'm currently going, this is fine. So with the Shadow Bulwark, any indirect damage, such as curse damage, or maybe an enemy's trait ability that does damage if I attack, that doesn't matter anymore. Also, with the Vital Clutcher, which was a very important learning process for me, when I was fighting enemies that just dodge all the time. This Vital Clutcher made life so easy, and when I stopped using it, I was like, oh man, that was a really good idea, but I don't want to use it again, because I've got different monsters for the different realms. Just, again, because I'm recording these, I don't want you to see the same monster forever and ever and ever and ever. Alright, well, I'm bringing him back for this one. Because if I'm fighting a long battle where the enemy has dodge, maybe has 1 million speed, I don't need that. I need him to stay still long enough for me to hit. Now, bosses tend to be resistant to stone. So this doesn't keep them from dodging, but it will slow down their dodging. It will allow me to hit more often. As for his artifact, that has Heated Ichor, which is a trait material I purchased from Vulcanar also. All the Basilisk stuff comes from Vulcanar. This is a Basilisk skill. Heated Ichor allows me to that if he doesn't take any damage between his turns, the enemy will take 50% of their health and damage. Now, I tried building a team around this once, where I had 2 of these guys in the army, plus some of my own indirect damage. And I was not doing any damage. I thought, okay, maybe the skill is broken. Well, in a more recent episode, I decided that perhaps it's not the skill that's broken, it's just the enemy just ignores damage sometimes. I've not quite figured out why, but because it's not one of the traits. I looked at the traits and there's nothing that says resist damage. There is a trait that does that, but in the battles I was experiencing it, it did not say chance to ignore damage, chance to resist damage. That is a totally real trait. It just wasn't in that one, and I was doing 0 damage. No idea why. Anyways, I'm bringing this back and I'm hoping it's going to work this time. Because I wanted to make a build with just Heated Ichor and have the enemies just kill themselves. Now, 50% doesn't sound like much because after the first 50%, they will have half their life left. And then, so you only do 25% of the damage next time. But if this combines with other vulnerabilities, stat modifiers such as class modifying, basically if you are life and you're fighting a death monster, then that would probably do more damage, is what I believe. Anyways, so Heated Ichor, we're bringing that back for this battle. Hopefully it works, because again, I'm preparing to fight the gods. I'm preparing to fight a long-term engagement here. Next up. Oh wait, I forgot to rename our golems. Let's go and rename the last 2 we made. So the Basilisk one, that is going to be Hunter Golem. And this one, the Void Lord that we just made, is going to be Void Golem. I really think Golem sounds better, but I'm pretty sure Golem is the right way to say it, but I think Golem sounds better. Alright, for the last character we're going to make is going to be my beloved Mimic. I love this thing. I just like being able to act. Taking turns, essentially. And we're going to bind the Mimic with the Nature Shapeshifter. This is a security blanket. First off, the Mimic, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, this allows him to immediately jump to the beginning of the battle and act, unless the enemy has a special agile perk or something like that. Or a surprise trait themselves. Nature Shapeshifter is one I don't use too often, but I do find his trait useful enough. But I don't really use it that often because I try to set macros up to disable options where I would get hit by myself. But in this case, I don't know what I'm running into. So I'm going to combine my Mimic, who goes first, with a creature that gives me a party-wide bonus. This bonus doesn't really matter to him. He's just here to help me get rolling. As for his artifact, he has Circle of Life. Every time he attacks somebody, he will heal my team. I was torn between giving him a revive option because my team has no revive options. But I'm going all or nothing in this. Okay, so the reason why I want healing is because if you remember, the first golem I made, he has Carnogenesis. So this will hopefully allow me yet another chance to bring my guys to the top of the timeline. So I have a lot of abilities that give me healing in order to get me to the top of the timeline. We're gonna call this one Restoration Golem. There we go. Alright, so this is my team. And my characters are random levels right now. It shouldn't matter too much. Welcome back, Tran. It seems you're ready to finalize the project. Project complete, Gate of the Gods. You unlocked the Gate of the Gods. You can find it in your decorations menu under the Utility NPCs category. You can now take on Keyforge missions. You've unlocked the Gate of the Gods. This feature allows you to challenge the gods to battle. If you manage to win, you'll earn mana that allows you to summon that god's avatar to fight for you in battle. The Gate of the Gods is a very deep feature with a lot of different rewards to be earned, so you should check out the codex for more information before using it. My characters are pretty much whatever level. It doesn't matter because in the Gate of the Gods, your monsters become level 100. The Gate of the Gods allows you to challenge the gods to battle. These are extremely difficult fights that require you to build your party around them in order to succeed. As a reward for defeating the gods, you'll earn their mana, which allows you to summon and upgrade their avatars to fight for you in battle. In the Gate of the Gods, your creatures will always be scaled to level 100. In order to unlock the Gate of the Gods, you must first defeat each nether boss. In order to start a battle at the Gate of the Gods, you must first acquire a Gate of the Gods key. This can be earned in one of two ways. Key fragments can be earned by defeating nether bosses. The higher your realm instability, the more key fragments you will receive. After you collect 10 key fragments, they will automatically transform into a full key. I hope that I've done realm instability 5 on all the nether bosses, but maybe in the very beginning I didn't, I'm not sure. Keys can also be obtained by completing a Keyforge mission. After choosing a god to fight, you must select a difficulty level. The higher the difficulty level, the higher the god's level will be. In return, you will also receive more mana and treasure at higher difficulties. Note that mana and treasure do not increase past difficulty level 10. Further difficulties are only there for you to test your skills. In order to unlock additional difficulty levels past 10, you must defeat that god at the previous difficulty level first. For example, to unlock difficulty level 13, you must defeat the god at level 12 first. After you defeat a god, you'll obtain some of its mana. After you acquire 100% mana, you can summon that god's avatar to join your party just like a normal creature. You can also use your mana to upgrade your existing avatar creatures at the God Forge. Each avatar has a unique trait along with an exclusive ultimate spell. Ultimate spells are extremely powerful spells that have only one charge, but this charge regenerates after each battle. You can only have one avatar in your party at a time, unless you are the Fanatic Specialization. You can upgrade your avatar creature at the God Forge. Located at the Gate of the Gods, each god offers a different avatar upgrade, and you can grant these upgrades to each of your avatars only once. Upgrades require 100% mana for the selected god. In other words, in order to fully upgrade an avatar creature, you must acquire 100% mana for each of the gods and take it to the God Forge. Alright, so let's go ahead and decoration mode. Add a decoration, utilities, Gate of the Gods. Slap it right here opposite of the arena. Let's also make sure that we have our dialogue on, yep. And let's get going. I think we're ready. I mean, maybe not. Maybe this is just overconfidence. The Gate of the Gods allows you to challenge the gods to battle. If you emerge victorious, you will earn mana that allows you to either summon the god's avatar creature or upgrade an existing avatar here at the God Forge. In order to challenge a god, you must expend a Gate of the Gods key. Your creatures will be scaled to level 100 for the duration of the fight. I know I can't do this, I'm going to select it anyways, just to see what happens. God Forge, empower one of the avatars I've summoned. Bam! You must select an avatar creature. Alright, let's insert the key and challenge a god to battle. I have 44 keys. Alright, so pretty much every build that people are talking about uses Regalis. Regalis has this trait that allows you to have all of your characters in the same element. I call it element to specify it. I feel it really matches the tune better than class. But she has all the characters of the same element merge their innate traits. They share their innate traits with each other, like what I'm doing with the Golem build. So that will be she will be the first boss I fight, because I want that trait. I don't know how I'm going to use it yet, but I know that pretty much everybody, when they talk about the gods, they're talking about Regalis. So each one of these gods, you can see on the right what trait they will have when you battle them. So you'll need to plan your party around that. For example, Vertrag says your enemies will eventually die of old age. I have no idea what that means, but probably means I have a turn limit. Okay, that's all the gods. I believe there's 21 of them. We're going to go ahead and begin with Regalis. Enemies are afflicted with random debuffs at the start and end of their turns. Enemies cannot be resistant to debuffs. Let's begin. Currently, you can choose a maximum difficulty level of 10. At this difficulty level, your enemies will be level 1,500. Your creatures will always be scaled down to 100. So I could go to level 1, and this is probably what you should do. That's not what I will do. I will go to the max level, 1,500.
I see my little toy has finally come to play. I'll happily oblige.
Regalis appeared. So she begins battle with her arsenal spell. It looks like they have, let's see here, they're constructs apparently. But that didn't last long because now it's my turn. And it will always be my turn. Alright, so maybe next time I show this, I will turn off buffs for allies. I think that's probably what I need to do. If I bring this party out again. Alright, so nothing has actually happened yet. But that's okay, because I believe that was just the first turn for many of them. And nothing happens on my first turn. What I'm relying upon is my Basilisk ability that says if I don't take damage between my turns, I then start whooping ass. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and skip through some of these until something starts happening. There we go. So they combine every trait I've talked about for the first trait on each golem. Not their fused trait and not their artifact trait. But the fused and artifact traits tend to be the ones I've made as party-wide abilities. So you can see that he's already stoned Regalis. The first thing was that he gets the ability to attack when his turn comes up. The second thing that's going on is he gets 2 abilities attack thanks to my War Golem. That's gonna be obnoxious, but alright. It's okay. Because my build is probably obnoxious to her too. Alright, so this is pretty much what the battle will be at this point. I'm gonna let it cycle through one time and then I'm gonna hold down turbo. You'll note that I didn't talk about spell jumps at all. It's because it shouldn't matter. My characters will literally punch everybody to death. Now, interestingly, that snap trap is fighting back against my timeline control, which is kind of cool. That snap trap, I don't know which one it is. It says it is a snap trap cultivar. Let me look in my notes here. Alright, Alright, the Snap Trap Cultivar has the coming down effect, which is what we saw earlier. After an enemy gains a buff, it has a 25% chance to be sent to the bottom of the timeline. That's exactly what's going on with me. So this is a counter to my build, right here. Because every time I get healed, I get a buff. And I get lots of buffs, so I could end up getting healed, brought to the top, and then brought back to the bottom because of the Snap Trap. So that's actually a very, very good counter to my build. See how I just got dropped down on the timeline? Alright, so now, at one point, my monsters must have hit them with the Steel Speed ability. That monster that does that also steals their attack and intelligence. So as they get stoned and as they lose stats, while the battle carries on, my momentum will increase. Provided Jakuru is not the last one on my timeline to move. If it is, I might be in trouble. Because I didn't really pack any spells. Come on, kill that Snap Trap! Kill that Snap Trap! I need that thing dead! Uh-oh! It's their move! No, it's not! Yes! Regalis still has a chance to pull this off and defeat me. Until I can get the rest of my guys up there, I don't have a safety net. Void Golem is the last one to move now. Now, I know it's not the most exciting, but I like the fact that I just created this newbie team who is punching the gods themselves to death. This is a team anybody can make. You don't need to have defeated any of the gods to have done this. The most you need is some stuff from Mordum or Volcanar. Now she's got living armor, which is a problem. That continuously generates a barrier for her. But not enough. We are victorious! We get 10 emblems of Regalis. Cool, this is easier than doing the realm missions. And we get 100 Regalis mana. Mana. I think mana does sound a little better, but I'm used to saying mana. Cool. Let's take a look at her in the bestiary. Probably an avatar, so it should be in the A section. Here we are. So she has, at the start of battle, your creatures that belong to this creature's class share their innate traits with each other. This trait does not stack. And no material exists, so you can't put her on an artifact. Since the beginning of time, the goddess of poison, also known as the Spider Queen, has maintained a certain rivalry with Vertrag that no mortal would describe as friendly. On one occasion, Regalis presented the god of time with a huge statue of himself, but the inside was hollow and contained millions of spider eggs. When someone is caught in the webs of the arachnid nest, Regalis considers them her property, and she keeps certain individuals she likes as her slaves. Alright. That was pretty cool. Achievement earned, Slayer of Regalis. Achievement earned, Gate of the Gods, Regalis. What's achievement earned? Achievement earned, Gate of the Gods, Regalis 2. What's the difference between all these? Let's see here. Slayer of Regalis is defeat Regalis one time. Okay. Gate of the Gods is defeat her at difficulty level 5 or 10. Okay. And then attacker is attack that means time. Alright. Alright. That was pretty good. Let's take this team out for another spin, since I don't think that's going to be one whole episode by itself. Let's battle the next god. And the next one I want, it's going to be Meraxis. Oh, he's right here. What Meraxis allows you to do as his trait is, his description says, your creature's stats gained in battle are no longer subject to diminishing returns. While I don't use stat growth that often, I might need to use it to start fighting these gods. So his ability is, your creatures always defend. After your creatures take damage, they reflect 100% of the damage back to the enemy. So that could be a little bit of a problem for me. We'll see. I have adjusted the battle messages, so the only one you will see is damage.
It is a beautiful day for a battle, is it not, Tran?
Your guys are constructs again? Really? Are you, maybe, I don't know. I know this is not necessarily the most exciting battle ever, but this is a build anybody can do. Even the relics themselves aren't much. Some of these relics are level 1, like my Materium in the 2nd slot, then my Wintermaw in the 3rd slot. That being said, this is version 0.8.1, early access. At some point, it may be patched out that you cannot seize control of the timeline in such a way. But for right now, this may be an avatar of nature, but I am the avatar of victory. That do-do-do-do sound you hear is me doing 0 damage for whatever reason. Whoa, we actually had a move! There was actually a command I put in there. It was attack, but it's just my macro for attack, but it was still a command. I was not expecting that. Whoa, I don't know what happened there. It probably has some sort of reactionary spell ability, like when an ally dies, cast a spell on the bad guy. Oh, cast a spell on me. So yeah, we actually got 1 command in here. That's really unexpected. And I got a costume Meraxis. Cool. Completed prophecy test, gather emblems. Give me my achievements. I want more piety. I'm getting those relics require so much piety. It's insane. But here you can level them up past 100, so you could potentially out-level the gods by leveling up your relics forever and ever and ever, but the amount of piety you would need is just unbelievable. You can see here that in currency I actually spent the last that I had on Mortem and Volcanar. I actually had to run into their realm several times to get the emblems I needed just to buy those trait items. So, let's see here. Take a look at the bestiary. Meraxis. Marigold, your creature stats gain in battle are no longer subject to diminishing returns. Meraxis' realm is an inhospitable place full of secrets that only the bravest adventurers dare to enter. However, the god of Bliss is peaceful and good-natured, and has a good relationship with the other gods, or at least as good as it can be with Alexa, Torin, and Tartareth. His innocence and carelessness have led him to remain on the sidelines during most of the conflicts that have endangered the world. However, he decided to take sides with the other gods against the threat of an old ruler of Siralim. I think we've got time for one more, right? The last one we'll do for this episode is Frieden, God of the Sea. Your creatures always have Blighted. Your creatures are always immune to all damage except for damage taken from Blighted. Oh, wait. I guess I can't do this one. I'm not healing him. Oh. Alright, hold on. I guess we're not doing Frieden. Never mind then. Well, I guess we'll do Aurum. Gempacalypse. At the end of each enemy's turn, they take damage equal to 300% of their lowest stat. Ooh. Well, actually, you know what? I never get an end of my turn. My turn never ends. So, yeah, this is fine. So before we begin, we can take a look at my battle history before it gets erased and see what happened. Why did that guy die? Just all of a sudden. Alright, oh, that's him. Phase Executioner, Fire Salamander. Wretched Golem was killed. Okay. Enemy Ice Salamander cast Implosion. Okay, Salamander's ability is before they die, they generally cast a spell. That's what happened. I'm not quite sure when it happened, but at some point I inserted a command, I believe, for my 4th Golem. So that'd be a Hunter Golem. Not that it tells me which one it is. Like, it says here, your Hunter Golem attack. That might just be the auto attack. It may not even be the manual attack I did. I don't think I can really easily tell. I'm sure I could sit there and dissect every, like, look over the footage and compare that to the battle history. But I really don't want to do that. I don't think it matters that much. Let's see how many events took place in that last battle. $3,909 events. Alright, Aurum, you're next.
Arrogant pup. I will teach you not to disturb me in my own home.
Really? Well, let's find out. Okay, there. That was 50% of their health. Now it wasn't really 50%, but that had to have been that power, the heating ichor. I think that's the first time I saw it activate in these 3 god fights. It probably has activated, just done 0 damage before. There it is again. What are you guys? You're constructs. Are you always constructs? No costume for Aurum, but I get his emblems. That was a simpler battle than the one with Meraxis. Bestiary, Aurum. Your creatures can equip all spell gems regardless of their class. After your creatures mainly cast a spell, they also cast a random spell from their spell gem list from each other class. You know what, I think I can probably summon Regalis. Dump these dudes. Achievement unlocked, Avatar of Regalis. She should have some dialogue, but alright. Why were you sent to Menagerie? Why not just... I deposited my guys so that you could just join me right away. Oh, probably because they don't want you to have more than one avatar in the party. Alright, and now we're going to turn in the quest I've had sitting there. Just give me a second. Because I wanted to build the Gate of the Gods on camera. And we're going to... I guess we'll do Keyforge. After completing this project, you receive a key that can be used at the Gate of the Gods. And, more importantly, we're going to finally do Specialization Fanatic. Fanatics devote their lives to serving the gods. From dusk until dawn, these magi toil away at a never-ending list of demands to better serve each of the 21 gods of Rhodia. Such devotion is not without purpose, however, for the fanatic is able to call on the god's power to serve him in his time of need. You don't even have any dialogue? He had dialogue for when, if you try to get this ability. You need to bring an avatar to him, he says. Alright, let's take a look. But we're still working on that. This is the key fragment one. And this is the fanatic that I will get, and we'll be right back. Thank you very much for watching Tran wins Siralim Ultimate. I'll see you next time.